Welcome back, guys. Welcome to the next video in your prep week. So we're going to be talking right now about tracking your progress. This is something that's really hard for a lot of people, especially when you first start. And I know this was really, really hard for me. And I regret this. So when I first started, I had a lot of pictures, fully clothed, holding my baby, or pictures with other people. I did not take a before picture right at the beginning. I took more before pictures as I kept going, but I didn't have that first one. And now, being a year and a half in, I regret it. I regret it because I know how much my body's changed, my composition has changed, and I don't have that clear before to really compare it to. So it is so important. It's so important to track because as you go along, sometimes we set ourselves up with these big goals, and it's nice to be able to remind ourselves about how far we've come. And these pictures and these measurements, those are going to be how you do that. So we highly, highly recommend you take before pictures, measurements, and a before weight. Those three things are super, super important. And as we'll be talking about later on, in the group, everybody is welcome to have their own album. So in that album, you can share whatever you want. It's yours. No one's going to be really going through there. It's your personal album. So you can post your before photos in there, your before measurements, your before weight, whatever. If you want to use it as your tracking journal, your vision board, whatever. Post what motivates you in there. Post a motivational quote, a picture of your family, or whatever it is, whatever your why is, whatever you're going to need to get you through those harder times, that's what you're going to post in that album. So if you don't want to post it to the group, you don't have to. You can keep those pictures privately to yourself. But if you want the ultimate accountability to your goals, either share it privately with your coach or post them in that album. That's just for you. Okay, so like I said, I know it's really, really daunting, but when you look back and you go through and you realize how far you've come by looking back at those photos, it's going to be worth it. And sometimes the scale doesn't always move, right? I know for me, my measurements tend to change a lot faster than the number on the scale. And if I didn't have those measurements to compare, I would feel so discouraged because I wouldn't have any evidence of how hard I'm working and that it's actually making an effort or it's making an impact. So that is huge. Measurements don't lie. The scale sometimes does. So making sure that you have those numbers on hand to kind of help you as you go along your journey. So when you're taking your before photos, we recommend that you either take them in a bathing suit, like a bikini, I know, or bra and underwear or bra and shorts, and an outfit that does not feel comfortable, that maybe used to fit, but doesn't fit anymore, and you want to fit back into it, like your goal outfit. I know it's scary to think about taking pictures in bras and shorts or bikinis. Trust me, I get it. It's still hard for me to do. But I promise you, it's going to feel so amazing when you compare those photos after, because photos do not lie. They don't. So when you're taking your photos, you're going to do 3 shots. You're going to do a straight on shot. Just either set your phone up or have someone take a picture of you. Do a side shot and a back shot, because then you're going to get all the angles and you're going to see everything, all of the changes. When you're measuring, you need a soft measuring tape. You can get them at the dollar store, or you can use a piece of string and then measure the length of the string. But we recommend that you measure your bust, so right across your chest and around, the smallest part of your waist, the widest part of your hips and bum, your thighs, your upper arms. Now, here's a trick. When you're doing your measurements of your thighs especially, it can be tricky because if you're off by even a little bit, it'll totally throw off your measurements. So what you're going to do is measure your inseam. So from the top of your groin to your knee and find the halfway mark. So for me, I know it's about 13 inches. So I'm going to find about 6.5, and that's where I'm going to measure consistently each time. And I do the same thing with my arm. So I start right here, I go to my elbow and I find the middle. and that's where I measure each time. And that way where you're measuring is consistent, and so you're not getting variation in where you're measuring. So the last piece is to get on the scale. I know it's hard, I know, but what we're going to be working on in here is learning that the scale is just a feedback mechanism. It is just about learning what your body's doing with what you're putting into it. And we're going to really try to separate that from feeling of crappiness when you step on that scale. Okay, so those are the 3 pieces, guys. Do that. I promise you it's going to make a huge difference when you go back and you look and you see how far and how hard you've worked. Okay, talk soon.